So what impact, I remember the former Minister for Mining suspended issuing of mining licenses to new players until an airborne survey was carried and concluded. I don't know how far we are, in terms of concluding that process, but what damage has this done to this industry?
Well, O'Brien, the idea was noble. The idea to do the airborne survey was very noble. But I think being somebody who's worked both at the industry level and also served in government as an advisor, I can tell you that the idea of suspending issuance of licensing was not the smartest thing to do. Because you could carry out the survey without need to stopping the investors from going and still finding out what's available. These processes could have run concurrently. The problem that comes in is that the moment you stop issuing licenses, the investors or people who want to invest in mining, and usually these are usually foreigners because they have appetite to wait for long periods of time before they actually see a return on their investment. And that's why you'll find it's usually the British, the Canadians, the Australians, because they have that patience to wait for their money to grow. O'Brien, right now, if I told you to put 10 million in something that will give you money in 15 years, you'll tell me, Bwana, forget about those things. I want to do other things. But but the moment these people come into the country and then realize that they can't get a license, a simple thing as a license, not alone just even putting the money in to invest, they go elsewhere. So they'll go to Uganda, they'll go to Tanzania, they'll go to DRC. And this is what we lost out. And we spent a significant amount of time going to these foreign countries, telling them about the potential of Kenya as a mining destination. But because of suspension of the licensing, it froze that ability to do that. Now, just to quickly tell you, like oil and gas, mining also needs a lot of lead time in terms of exploration. You'll find even the Kwale project took about 10 years before it actually came into getting financing and moving into production. It took also another 3 years of building the mine before actually the first mining could take place around the year 2016, 2017. The first export was done in the year, I think, 2018, if I'm not wrong. So you can see it takes a lot of time. But the impact of it is such significant. Let me give you even a small example why we also need to move very quickly in terms of issuance of licenses. Now, in my area where I come from, Taita-Taveta, we are actually it's the county with the largest block of gemstone mining. Yeah. But most of those licenses, the license owners are either dead or they have forgotten their businesses for a long time. So we have not issued new licensing in that particular area to new and enterprising people who would actually make better use of the areas that have gemstone potential as compared to others. Now, what this has done is that we have allowed a lot of illegal mining to go on. Some very dangerous forms of mining activities have been carried out. Yeah. We've been seeing cases in Migori area, for example, whereby because the country has not been issuing these artisanal mining licenses or mining permits to these smaller players, and be able also to go and find out whether they are carrying out their mining activities in a proper manner, we end up seeing people dying inside some of those vents and caves that they actually dig out. Yeah. So the lack of licensing by the government has a significant impact not only on the lives of Kenyans, but also on the ability of people to make a livelihood out of these minerals. And there are a lot of families, people who have gone to universities who are actually funded by the activities of somebody going underground to look for a gemstone or look for gold or look for which type of mineral so that they can be taken to school. So it's something that we need to really nurture and take care of. And the first step becomes to allow for the sector to actually get these licenses and actually carry out these activities. But the potential that comes out of it is significant. The impact on the livelihoods of people is also very highly significant. I think for mining, you can get more people out of poverty quicker than for us waiting for the oil to come and actually save this country. Because oil has a lot of geopolitical influences. Whatever happens in Russia, whatever happens in China, whatever happens in the US has an impact on the oil price. The impact on the oil price also determines whether people invest in the mining, in the oil and gas sector. And a country like ours, where we still need significant amount of capital injection so that we can see that oil come to pass, you will find there will be no interest in a project like ours. But if we put some money more into the question of the mining sector, we might spur an economic renaissance for the people who are involved in some of these communities, and we can have a lot more people employed, and people will be grateful to a government that is actually considering a sector of the livelihood that can be well coordinated once we get back to it. So licensing, like it or not, has a significant impact on the sector. Once we get back to it, things will happen. Even in Mwendia's sector, oil and gas, the moment they begin to issue out and do the tendering for the oil and gas sector, you'll see a lot of white people coming in, putting in their bids, and we will see an activity coming up. So let's get back to licensing.
Is there anything that can be done to accelerate this process, honestly?
Well, if you call more of us to keep on saying these things on TV, I'm sure the right policy makers will get to hear about it.
Are there things that you are doing probably maybe behind the background,
yes,
you know, with government officials to ensure that this is done? Because, I mean, this kind of platforms, you know, are rare and in between. And so if you are to keep on waiting for these kind of opportunities, then a lot of water will pass under the bridge.
Yeah. I can speak on my sector. We've definitely done that. We've written to the cabinet secretary. I've personally also reached out to the ministry officials and the CS and also the administration, William Ruto, the president, to try and really get us back into licensing. And I believe they'll listen. The Committee for Environment and Natural Resources has also been very receptive, and we'll keep pushing, because the whole idea is that we want activity to become formalized, and we can be out there looking for more investment in the country, rather than sitting like the way we are sitting without any activity. That's why you find people like Mwakesi and everyone else are busy being asked to consult in different countries. People in Tanzania, in Zambia, are calling us to give expertise. Yet this expertise can be better used right here at home, when we can have when money should be flowing in this country to enable this sector to grow.